Hello everybody, we're going to be back in the kitchen once again today. It is the month of February recipe calendar. I really enjoyed the last one. We'll see about this one because, as you can see right there, that tilapia is a word that I cannot eat. However, I have made a substitute. Granted, it wasn't with tempeh since, one, I couldn't find it, and two, if I could, it's really expensive. But this time, it is the Mediterranean baked tilapia using the Greek seasoning blend, which, as you can see down here, is oregano, onion, garlic, black pepper, parsley, thyme, marjoram, paprika, cinnamon, nutmeg, Simon, and Garfunkel. There is the recipe. It's going to be a lot of oven work, so probably going to be a shorter video because a lot of it's just going to be waiting for the oven to do its thing. But there's the recipe. And the one thing, like I say, I'm going to substitute tilapia for thinly sliced chicken. And then I will have to bake it a little longer. But that is the recipe if you're actually using tilapia. So I'm going to give you a chance to pause that if you want. If anybody is going to eventually try this at some point. I would recommend it because these are really fun. So going to preheat the oven to 425, get everything prepped, and then we will continue from the counter area and go from there. Before I forget, the one thing. For anybody outside of the U.S., the 425 degrees Fahrenheit, if you're ever going to try that, that would be 220 degrees Celsius, just so you know. So I didn't want to forget, and I wanted everybody to know. So 425 Fahrenheit, 220 Celsius. All right, we're going to be waiting for the oven to preheat, but here is everything. I have to say, I had to go to 3 different stores to find fingerling potatoes. No idea why they were so difficult to find, but we did end up getting them. Tomatoes there. In last month's episode, I did express my dislike of tomatoes, but that's more raw tomatoes. If they're cooked, they're not bad, but it calls for 8 ounces. I'm not going to use 8 ounces of them. I'm going to use a little portion of that container, and then the rest of them will be going to a friend of mine who enjoys tomatoes, and they can do with them what they will. But got everything set up, and as we go, but the one thing, because counter space is going to be limited because I had to pull the cast iron in my wok out of the oven because that's where I store them. When you're using capers, always make sure to drain them, to drain them and rinse them before you use it, just to kind of cut down on that briny thing. But we're going to wait for the oven to preheat. I'm going to cut the potatoes in half, get them going. We'll put them in the thing, put them in the oven, and the only thing you don't see, however, is the chicken because in real time, it's still probably going to be about a half hour, 45 minutes before I even use the chicken, so it's going to stay in the fridge until then. So until next time when I actually have the camera stationary, we will go from there. Okay, the oven has hit temperature. We're going to get the potatoes ready to go in the dish, but first, can we just, since I did get the medley, can we just remark on, I dare say, the beauty of the purple potato. And I'm not sure. The reddish potato? Either way, we've got purple potatoes, and I do love them, so. Now we've got one tablespoon olive oil, which doesn't seem like a whole lot for a lot of potatoes, but then again, a little goes a long way with olive oil. Salt, a little bit, pepper. And by the way, again, the oven was at 425, so, because potatoes take forever and a friggin' day to cook. Well, let's get them tossed, coated, then we'll get them in the oven for 15 minutes, and then we will return in 15 minutes' time. Let's get them there. And I should have used a smaller pan. Actually, no, on second thought, I decided not to do that because if you crowd, like with anything, if you crowd the pan, it's just going to take everything that much longer to cook and throw off cooking times. And since potatoes are already so dense, figure give them as much room as possible. So we're going to get these in the oven, 425 for 15 minutes. Then we'll be back and start assembling everything else. All right, so the potatoes should be done in just a couple of minutes. So we'll get ready on the prep for the rest of it. So when it comes out, we can probably, as efficiently as possible, assemble. So we've got, like I say, not a huge fan of tomatoes. There you go. Like I said, the rest will be going to a good home, so we're going to get those in half. And while we're doing that, we're just gonna use the exact same bowl because all that was in there was olive oil and potatoes. So, and it's all going together in the end. And always remember, when you get down to the last couple like this here, be careful because your hands are going to be slippery. So we've got the tomatoes in there, and that's the part I don't like about tomatoes, the just raw seed gush, because to me it just doesn't look like they're finished developing yet. All right, I rinsed off the capers. We're going to chop them. I don't quite know how. Actually, I do kind of know how. We got that. Those little micro strainers are very handy to have. When you're doing stuff like this, be careful. I'm not an expert, so I just hope I don't cut myself on the internet again. But just kind of do it like that, dice them up as best you can. You are going to get some of the, some bigger pieces. But capers aren't bad. They're kind of briny, kind of lemony, just a very unique flavor, but definitely add a lot. All right, so in there, and then to the Kalamata olives, which I do love me some Kalamata olives. Actually, I love all olives in general. I think it said, what, a third of a cup? Don't quite know how many that is, but we'll just get a bunch out. Normally, you don't use your fingers, but this is going to be my eaten olive jar at the end of this. All right, that should be about enough. But again, I'm going to eat those later. It does say they were pitted, but you never can tell, so just be careful going through it. And kind of the same technique, I would say. Just kind of chop them up, give them a good little chop. And then into the bowl. And now we will do the lemon. And we've got to juice the lemon, and then we use the actual wedges later. And I love lemons. I will legitimately probably eat. I bought a bag of 4 of them. I will legitimately eat the other 4 or the other 3 lemons. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. And then these go on top of the potatoes, but below, for me, the chicken. Right, so that is going to go there. All right. Greek seasoning blend. Can I open this without? No, you know what? Scissors are right there. When in doubt, use the scissors. Let's give that a smell. Ooh, that smells nice. Oh, whole thing in there. We'll get the rest of the olive oil in there. Then, just about time for the potatoes to come out. And then we will rejoin once we start assembling everything. And I think it's going to be awesome. So, stay tuned. We will be back in about another real-time minute and a half or so. All right, the potatoes are out of the oven. They are looking very nice. Very nice indeed. Then you put, as I saw, the lemon wedges with the potatoes. And then, get that off to the side. Then you put it would be the fish, but for me it's just coming from off camera just because of the room I'm using, like the chicken breast tenderloins. You put them over top the lemon and the potatoes. You would use 4 fillets. These are kind of thin, so I figure we'll try, 4 or 5 of them, and the rest I will do something with at another point. Actually, you know what? No, we'll just stick with the 4. And then we've got the rest. Then we spoon this over top. Yep, okay, I'm actually on camera. I had to check. Over top the chicken, which would be fish, potatoes, lemons, and everything else. And then back into the oven. It would go, if it was fish, for 8 minutes. But because it is chicken, and even said with the tempeh, do it for 15. So it's going to go back in for another 15, and then I will definitely give the meat a stab with the old meat thermometer to make sure, and then we shall sample and we shall enjoy, and then I will enjoy my lunch. So, back in the oven it goes for 15, and then we'll be back here to finish it off. Okay, full disclosure, this is actually 18 minutes later. The oven timer went off, I came in, and it was just on the verge of the 165 mark for here in the Fahrenheit world. So I put it in for another 3 minutes just to make sure it got there. And again, safety tip, if you're cooking chicken, you want 165 Fahrenheit, which is, I looked it up, around 73.9 to be precise, Celsius. So 1 second, I'm going to plate this up, and then magically it'll be there, and then magically I'll be somewhere giving it a taste, and then I'm going to enjoy the rest of my meal. So 1 moment. Alright, so there we go. It is plated. It looks and smells absolutely fantastic. The little bit of parsley, I do use that on my ramen, so that is not going to go to waste. Oh, smells so nice. A lot of lemon, a lot of that spice. And the potatoes look good. Even the tomatoes are cooked. All right, 1 second. I'm going to kind of reconfigure, give it a taste, and then I'm going to be able to sit properly and finish off what is no doubt going to be absolutely delicious. So 1 moment. All right. I'm starting to get the hang of this cooking thing, and I do have it here. Yeah, okay. I kind of had to cut it up because I'm standing. One day, I swear, one day I'm actually going to figure out the proper setup for all this. But I'm excited. So we got chicken, which looks amazingly good. Smells so good. We got potato. It's going to be boiling hot, by the way, but ooh. I like that. I can imagine this, if this was fish and I could eat fish, it would be really good because there's a lot of lemon in there, which I'm not opposed to by any stretch of the imagination. Purple potato. Love me the purple potato. People have their thoughts on it, but I'm a fan. Get it with the olive. Yeah, this is good. If you're a fish person, yeah, 100% make that with the tilapia, but I can't. Chicken works really well. Yep. It's going to be a good rest of the day. So I'm going to go finish eating. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down below. I think I'm starting to get the hang of these. Next month, hopefully I'll be able to do it before the end of the month, but we will see then.